Hello, my name is Wasim. I'm a third-generation Palestinian refugee. I was born in Lebanon, and I was raised between Syria and Gaza. I fled the civil war in Lebanon in 1983 with my mother. And for the time that I remember growing up, my childhood, my memories of my childhood are bits and pieces. I remember my grandmother vine tree in the village of Haytarun, south of Lebanon. I remember those small streets and bean vendors in the Yarmouk refugee camp in Syria. And I remember this feeling, you know, when sand gets between your toes, when I used to play football barefoot with my cousins in Gaza. Peace was, I was never planning to become a peace builder. It's not a title, it's not a job. People don't understand that this is my life. This is me. You know, I believe that a lot of people in this room have something worth fighting for. And for me, nothing really prepared me for fatherhood. Growing up, peace was never on my agenda. I remember I've only started to think about peace when my first child was born. And I used to drive in the streets with my newborn, and there were bombs falling from the sky on our heads in Gaza. And for weeks, I worked for the Red Cross. I witnessed my city turned into ashes. And for the years after, Gaza, this beautiful place that I used to love, became a large prison. You know, I was angry. The United Nations released a report nearly 10 years ago saying that the damages done to the infrastructure, water, and air in Gaza will make this place unlivable by 2020. I was angry. You know, because peace, to me, should be a fundamental human right. Peace was absent back then and is still absent today as my struggle, my people's struggle for liberty, self-determination, and peace and justice continues to grow. And now, looking back at this time, there are a lot of pieces that I'm missing. I think back at it, and I believe that we as individuals had the opportunity to make a lot of changes. Growing up in Gaza and now making the transition to become doing the work that I'm doing today is very difficult. I look back at it. I started working in the Red Cross, and now I'm working in this field. And I can't stop thinking that how difficult it is to people to realize how hard this work is. We have lost a lot of ideas around peace, and we try to challenge the misconception, social and cultural misconception associated with peace. We need to create the momentum we need to build fresh ideas about peace. You know, nearly 30 years after Oslo, we haven't seen progress. This absence of progress means that there's more apathy, hopelessness, and despair among young Palestinians and Israelis. But more importantly, the absence of progress means that there is more radicalization and there is more polarization among Palestinian youth. This is a scary thought to me because I have 4 children back home and I keep thinking about them. And you know, for young Palestinians and Israelis, a political solution is not possible anymore. Matter of fact, for young Israeli Jews, there is a growing understanding that one single, unequal state is becoming more legitimate, while hatred is the predominant emotion young Palestinians express about the other. I feel that our children deserve better. They look up to us. They need us now more than ever to challenge this social and cultural misconception around peace and rise above hatred. And most importantly, fear, the fear of change is our greatest adversary. We cannot challenge misconception, public perception of peace without acknowledging and understanding years and years of generational and cultural suppression. And while I doubt that authoritarian Palestinian government and Israeli military occupation, and I'm not comparing the two, can shine any hope for positive change, I have to say that I can't stress enough the important work of civil society in Palestine and Israel to connect these young people with political change. It is the work of members under the Alliance for the Middle East, where I work today, can create this important social and political track that we need for democracy, social responsibility, and activism. The work of our 130 members under OLMEB, and also with the support of our partners like Beit of Hope today, can be that engine room we need to create this young leadership, and therefore they will be able to create fresh ideas, momentum that we sorely need. And I need to leave you with a thought. I really hate the phrase, history repeats itself. It's a terrible phrase. I don't want my children to live through the same experiences that I did. When people ask me today, what is peace? What does peace mean to you? Peace to me is to be liberated from my fears. There's a new generation of Palestinians and Israelis. They're ready to make change today. It's our intergenerational responsibility and social obligation to listen, just listen and understand their personal struggle over our national interests. This is a limited opportunity that we have today to disrupt this ugly status quo and create solidarity and a culture of co-resistance across our communities. Thank you.